All right, today is Wednesday, November 1st, and today is also Fed Day. Will the Fed keep rates the same as everybody is expecting? And what will Powell say? Will he crash the markets? And how can this affect our positions? That's what we're going to talk today. So, welcome to Coffee with Markus and Mark. And in this show, we are going to talk to you about what's happening in the markets. Now, we are trading it. If this is your first time here, I'm Markus Heitkoetter. This is my head coach, Mark Hodge, and we're real traders who trade live accounts. So therefore, we got a lot of experience, and we are showing you how we trade these crazy markets. So trust me, we know our stuff, and we're not afraid to tell you like it is. So if you're looking for some honest insights into the fascinating world of trading, you are in the right place. And I know that Mark seems to be still a little bit blurry, and that might be connected to me. I did call the internet company, and they're coming out right now as we're doing the show. So, Mark, good to see you.
Yeah, great to see you, Marcus, and hopefully it's coming through at least well enough to have a good show, and we'll get that resolved by tomorrow, for sure.
Yeah, because we have a lot to talk about. I don't even know where to start. Maybe we should start with Fed Day today. Powell will be speaking, and he will be speaking at 1 p.m. That is Central Time, so 2 p.m. Eastern Time, and then at 2:30, followed by the press conference.
Exactly. Busy day, and the Fed is not expected to raise rates, but keep them the same, which means I get steaks. But more importantly, the commentary from Powell and what they might be hinting at for the future is really what traders are going to hone in on.
Yeah, I mean, I'll definitely be watching it. I already set my alarm. And I mean, besides this, we had also a flurry of reports coming out this morning. We had ADP non-farm employment change. We had the JOLTS jobs opening. So there's been ISM manufacturing PMI. There's just a lot going on right now.
Exactly. And ADP non-farm employment, we know that this Wednesday report usually or most definitely isn't as significant as the Friday jobs report, but those numbers coming in lower than expected, that's really what the Fed wants to see. But then JOLTS job openings, a number and data that the Fed does take into consideration was actually higher than expected.
Yeah, and I mean, usually traders would react more to this because we do have on Friday the jobs report for October, but all of this is overshadowed right now by Powell. I mean, probably maybe on Friday traders will focus on this again, but right now it's really just all about the Fed and what the Fed will do. And right now, everybody is expecting that the Fed will keep rates the same. Although, look at this. It increased a little bit from 0.4% probability to 1.9% probability that the Fed might be raising rates. And this means stakes for me.
And I guess you never know.
Yeah, so I mean, if you're tuning in for the first time, we have a bet that we did several weeks ago, maybe even months ago, where Mark said in November the Fed will keep rates the same, and I said no, I believe that they will raise it one more time, and yeah, a box of steaks is on the line, so we will know more this afternoon.
Yes.
All right.
And until then, there's some movement, especially in some of the tech names, Marcus.
Really? I haven't even checked this because I know that earnings have been going on, but let's take a look at the heat map here and see. Oh my gosh, look at this. Yeah, tech, I mean, the Magnificent Seven, Microsoft up right now 2.3%, Google up, Amazon up, Meta up. I mean, all of them are up, what, more than 2% almost. Apple is a little bit lagging after they introduced new computers. I think it was during the event on Monday with the M3 chip. But yes, it seems that up and away for these tech stocks right now.
Yeah, look at AMD.
All right, AMD reported earnings, so we'll take a look at this really quick. So AMD, I looked at it earlier this morning, and they were just up a little bit. Oh, there we go. Now there's some excitement.
It's interesting because they actually had an earnings beat, revenue beat, but they were down a little bit with softer guidance than what was expected. They did offer positive 2024 guidance for their data center, the GPU segment. But traders, a little bit of a change in the tune there from being down a little bit to being up over 7%. Big move there.
Yeah, it's super interesting, and we know that it is a super busy earnings week. I mean, if you look at the earnings calendar here for a moment, we know that we have a lot of companies reporting this week. A total of 164 companies are reporting earnings, and yeah, I mean, good for AMD. A few others that already started reporting yesterday, not doing so well. I mean, Caterpillar yesterday, what was it? Down 6%. Today, bouncing back a little bit, but overall down. And then also yesterday, we saw JetBlue trading massively lower at a 12-year low, bouncing back a little bit to today, after being down more than 10% yesterday.
Yeah, nasty drop there from 9 to below $4, and there were some other companies with some big moves. WeWork, Marcus, at one point they were down 35% after a report that they are planning to file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy.
Oh my gosh, look at this, 51% down right now.
Yeah, I mean, you see the fall from grace there, 80 down to a buck. It's been going on for a while, but uh, that 1 day move is pretty significant.
Well, from where did you say? I mean, has been trading at some point at 600.
That's just crazy, huh?
Yeah. Have you
I
seen
I
this
saw that.
the documentary? No, not really a documentary, but the movie about it on Netflix, the
No,
series.
no, I've been meaning to.
Yeah, I mean it's really good. I enjoyed it. I watched it when it came out. Can't remember if it is called We Crash or something like this. Not quite sure, but yeah, I mean everybody's darling during the pandemic. Adam Newman had high hopes and big visions for it, but yeah, it seems that WeWork seems to be done.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Um, yeah, I'm gonna have to
Yeah,
watch that. We crashed. Was it on Apple TV? Either way, I'm gonna
it's
have
on
to watch that one.
Netflix. Oh, what was it on
Okay.
Hulu or Apple? I can remember. Now I can remember because I also watched the documentary about Uber, Super Pumped, and so I'm getting a little
Okay.
bit confused whether it's on Apple, Hulu, or Netflix. So it's somewhere. That's another good one, by the way. If you want to watch another good show, it's
I'll check
Super
that out.
Pumped. Yeah. Hey, talking about some more Yum brands. I mean, Yum holding earlier down, but right now pulling up massively. I mean, if you look at a 5 minute chart, look at this. I mean, what a
Wow.
reversal here after reporting earnings.
Yeah, because I saw that they were down 13% pre-market. They missed on revenue there, and yeah, this is the company that is behind KFC and Pizza Hut.
Yeah. So interesting. So providing some softer guidance, and this is where again, do we have a recession? Our consumers are slowing down. Are they not going to restaurants anymore? Another one that got hit was Wayfair, but also recovering.
That's
What the heck is going on here? I mean, earlier this morning it was down 14%. Look at this reversal. I mean, holy cannoli! This here is right now. It is an 11% intraday move.
That's impressive. Interesting that we've had these big reversals. Normally, that isn't the case.
Yeah, because I mean, they also reported weaker demand for home goods, again, indicating that maybe consumers are slowing down, which is a contradiction to what we heard from consumer confidence and retail sales. But with that reversal, wow, that is quite something. You blink and the
Interesting.
markets move away.
It's almost like Wall Street bets are up to their antics again.
Yeah, it almost seems like this. But yeah, look at this stocks overall. I mean, really excited going into the Fed meeting. I mean, this is a 5-minute chart of the S&P, and the S&P is up 0.7%. The Nasdaq is down almost 1%. The Dow is up almost 0.7%. I mean, it seems that traders are very, very confident going into the Fed meeting today.
Well, look at the 10-year yield, Marcus.
Yeah, I saw that earlier that the 10-year yield is pulling back. So we probably have to switch to a daily chart so that we see it. The 10-year yield definitely in focus over the last few days, right?
Yeah, now down almost 3% today.
Yeah, so this were the magic 5% that was breached twice, first last Thursday, then again on Monday. And now the 10-year yield moving lower here. A 2-year yield also, but less significant. So this means that basically here we go. Yeah. I mean, the difference between the 10-year yield and 2-year yield, after looking like we would go back to normal above zero, that seems to be stopped just shy of zero. And this is actually where everybody says when this goes below zero, this so-called inversion here, that's when there's a risk of a recession. And then it looked like, okay, we are pulling out of this. Here's the zero line. Well, it's a little bit higher right here. You get the idea. Let me remove this one. But right now, yeah, this move has stopped here as well. Can you still hear me?
Interesting.
Okay. All right.
Yes, I can.
Yeah, we should take a look at our positions here and see what's happening with our positions because we haven't had a chance to do this yesterday. CSIQ a little bit all over the place. I mean, yesterday CSIQ had a good day. Today, down again 2.75%. So this is one where we're keeping an eye on it for a possible rescue mission. If we stabilize at this level, I mean, this is where we can look at a rescue mission at 19 possibly.
Yeah, and First Solar, we've seen a lot of connectivity and reactions to different solar companies. First Solar reported earnings. They reported better than expected, but then they had a revenue miss that was pretty significant. So it looks like with the gap higher at first, CSIQ was hanging in there, but after the reversal in First Solar, it seems to have an effect on CSIQ.
Yeah. So nothing yet to do because we want to see before we fly a rescue mission that we do see some support. And I mean, we have been keeping an eye on this. There was some support probably around 26 here, but then moving lower, bouncing back up. And then we thought that maybe support at around 22 would hold, then around 20. And now the next support level, possibly 19. So we would just have to wait a few more days for this one.
Sure.
All right, Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs. This is where up and away it seems. So just for those of you who are new here to follow, if you missed what happened, we sold the 305 puts and did get assigned, and then we sold the 305 calls, and right now we are trading at 307.01. So if this holds up, we will get called away and completing a wheel, and that's exactly what we are looking for when trading the wheel strategy.
Yeah, I like Goldman here, and I think solid company, solid stock, and the 305 after earnings just to me was a easy trade to pick up. So I've traded it a couple of times recently, and we'll have to see where we end up after the Fed reaction and whether or not we could roll.
I hope that we can
So
roll. I
right
wouldn't
now,
mind keeping
not a
this another
whole.
week. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and I looked today just to see there are a couple bucks there available on a roll, but uh, based on the stock price, the ROI isn't as attractive as we'd like for a roll typically.
Yeah. All right, Next Era Energy, NEE, doing exactly what we said it would do. So it bounced back, and then I said we'll probably consolidate here right around 59, which we seem to do. And then I think the next stop will be around 62 to 64. That's where we might hang out. And so we still have a little bit to go before we can sell calls here against our existing position. But here we never saw the support that we want to see for flying a rescue mission. So No rescue mission for us here on NEE, just waiting for it to go back higher and probably not going up here in a V-shaped formation, but nicely moving higher here in a zigzag formation.
I'll take a V-shaped formation though, because we're about 50% off of the lows when we look at where we were assigned. So that's not too bad in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, all right. PNC today just around the unchanged mark, and I think for PNC it's also important to know, okay, where does the Fed go? What does Powell say here? Because it affects banks, right? I mean, higher interest rates mean that fewer people are asking for loans, and therefore banks are not having the same revenue or the same credit turnover than they had when there's lower loans. Because now, right now, everybody's kind of waiting, right, and say, okay, we wait until the Fed moves interest rates lower again, and that's what we see here. But again, possibly flying a rescue mission here a little bit earlier, maybe around 110, but we also want to see that we are moving sideways here for a while first.
That's what I would like to see, as you mentioned.
UPS. So what's happening here?
It's a little unfortunate. I thought we had a stronger move higher. The earnings reaction I felt was a little overdone, and we have seen a little bit of a bounce. But today, unfortunate that we're seeing a reversal when the overall market's positive.
Yeah, but yesterday UPS had a really good day. So, I mean, I'll take it. And this is where, again, sometimes it's difficult to see how much the move is. You mentioned it just before with NEE, that it was a 50% move. I mean, here also, we moved a little bit over 6%, 6.5%. So for UPS, that is quite a big move because UPS typically doesn't move that much. So might be that today is just a little bit of profit taking here.
Could be.
Anyhow, so looking at the overall markets again, it seems that right now, okay, pulling back a little bit. So some nervousness ahead of the Fed meeting, but the VIX, I mean, the fear index, look at this. I mean, the long-term average is around 20, and we are trading again around 17. So nobody seems to be afraid what Powell is going to say.
It looks like it. We've had 3 consecutive days lower, and if there was more worry or concern about what the Fed would do, it would likely stay closer to 20. So I agree.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, this afternoon will be fireworks. I set my alarm. Are you going to watch it, Mark?
Yes, I'll keep an eye on it for sure.
Yeah, definitely want to
Fed
see
day,
what's going on there. All right. I know that we
Fed day,
still have a
big
little bit
day.
of a lag, so might be best to wrap it up. At least we were able to go through all of our positions today and tell you what's happening in the market. So don't miss tomorrow when we see the reaction of what Powell said, how the markets reacted, and how it affects our positions. If you enjoyed today's show, give us a like. And if you're the first time here, consider subscribing. And if you feel that this was helpful, please share this video with anybody who might benefit from it. All right. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Happy trading, everybody.